Hi, my friend. It's Pat Sloan here. It's feeling fallish, so this is the only sports-themed university of cross-stitch t-shirt that I have. This is kind of like the only university t-shirt I have. So today has nothing to do with cross-stitch, by the way. I just wanted to wear the shirt. Okay, so what do we have today? I have a couple of different things. We're going to talk about favorite tools, which is on the calendar. I have a mail call. I want to show you how, and I'll do this at the very end, I'll show you how I look at, or how one way you can look at creating your own borders for quilts. Let's see, what else? Oh, and I have a bunch of pink fabric, and I have a little thought on that. So let's get to it. First of all, I had this gorgeous card from Sandy. Look at this. Look, it's like textured. It feels like a quilt. It's so pretty. Thank you, Sandy. But Sandy sent me two amazing things. She sent first this beautiful glass bluebird, and she remembered that this is a bluebird of happiness, and she remembered that my grandmother, I told you about my grandmother Nana, and that this was one of her favorite sayings. And so she sent me this with the little poem. The bluebird of happiness. This little bird made of blue has a song in its heart, sweet and true. He spreads sunshine and happiness too, and that's the reason he belongs with you. Isn't that nice? I just love, love, love this. And she sent me my very first bowl cozies. Look at this, one for me and one for Greg. Okay, so I have to tell you, Sandy, that the first thing Greg says is, what happens when I spill chili on it? It's like, we wash it. Yeah, we wash it. That would be the thing to do. And so I just love it. I can't wait to try them out because I've never had any. Cool. The other thing is not exactly a mail call, but when we were in the live chat yesterday morning, Melissa mentioned the book, The Art of Pie. I don't know how I don't know where the conversation was on the pie, but I caught that part of it when she said The Art of Pie. And I remembered I had the book and I haven't looked at it in a long time, so I got it out. Maybe I have. You eat pie just for the crust, by the way. There's really no reason to eat pie unless it has fabulous crust. And it should have crust on the top and the bottom because it's all about the crust. Okay, now we have that figured out. So today on the calendar is your favorite tool. What is your favorite tool? I have a lot of favorite tools, and I always think like I should do that. I should do sometime after next year. I'll do it next year, where I gather up a bunch of great tools that I like, or maybe I'll do a little series on tools, something like that. So, but I thought one of my favorite tools I use every day practically, besides the sewing machine and the cutting table, is a rotary cutter. And I love the Olfa ones. I think they are the best product out there. I love this one, which has the quick release for changing the blades. And then, so you don't have to unscrew anything. You just pull that lever and the blade, the front part drops off. So you just push that lever. That's all it is. No unscrewing, no figuring out what way to put the nuts back on. This is the one you have to have. And it comes in several colors. And then the blades I like are the endurance blades. So I pretty much only use endurance blades now because they last longer. They really do. They really last longer. So that is what I do. Now, what I want you to do today is tell me either here at YouTube in the comments or over at my community, Quilt Along with Pat Sloan at Facebook, which is public, so you can come as a visitor and post or join. And tell me what your favorite tool is. If you have like a picture, you share a picture of it. But I think it would be really fun because what that does is it helps us introduce people to new tools that they may not know about. And when you share the tool, tell why you like it. Like I just told you, I like this one because, well, I like it of the ergonomics too, but I like the quick release. And I also like the endurance blades because they last longer. So when you show a tool, tell us why you like it. Does it have history for you? What is the deal? That is a requirement. Tell me about that tool. All right, let's talk about pink fabric. Why am I thinking about pink fabric? Well, but mostly because I've been wanting to show you the Healing Hearts quilt pattern that a bunch of people are doing for October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which I have my mammogram the very last day of the month, the very last day. This pattern you can donate to the, let's get this right, the National Breast Cancer Foundation through the Fat Quarter Shop link, which I will give you to the direct link to the donation page, and you can then download the pattern for free at the Fat Quarter Shop. But it's nice to give a donation, and it's pink. So people are making these, and I just thought, you know, I have a overstuffed bag. I mean, I literally probably cannot, I can, of course I can. I can fit more fabric in here by shoving it, but it is so full. And every time I look at it, I think, you know, I really don't want to get rid of any of these yet. So I'm thinking I should just start, you know, make myself a little kit of blocks of these, you know, of these heart blocks, because, you know, I love hearts, but make something up with each, you know, each block, and, you know, put it on either the design boards or something, put it in one of my bins, and get things cut up so that I can use up some of this fabric. And when I got this out, you know, I always love to remember where fabric is from. And I'm going to show you, oh my goodness, everything is shoved in here. It is so full. But this is what's pink on gray and little green and stuff. This one I got in the Caribbean, this fabric, at a fabric store in the Caribbean, which was so fun to find. And I also got the pink madre print. So I got that one too, which I also thought was really wonderful. And then in here, there's just so many other great fabrics that I've got one with dressmaker stuff on it. Look at that. Look how cool that is. So, you know, I've been collecting these things for a while. I've had them for a while. I like that. Oh, I used to make clothing. And there's dots. See, here's like some dots. But this is really full. Like you can see, like I can't hardly pull, like this has bows. Ugh. But you know, I can't pull this stuff out because it's too full. So I need to use some of this up. Is this quilt going to use much fabric? We will see. We will see how much it uses. But I'm going to give it the college try. The college try. I need a Quilt University t-shirt. I don't know if they did a Quilt University one. This is by the Fat Quarter Shop. So I'll have to ask them, did you do a Quilt University t-shirt? I don't know. We did the ultimate quilt. We did the ultimate beginner quilt, which was basically a Quilt University, but I don't think they use the word university. And this is cozy. They're so soft. They have a bunch of them with these raglan sleeves, but I digress. Okay. I have majorly digressed. What I want to talk about is how to look at putting a border on your quilt that's a little bit custom. So if you want to do something, maybe you're doing a panel. That's probably one of the easiest things to visualize. You have a panel and you want to expand it out with some blocks instead of just putting a fabric border. You want to put some blocks in it. Or you've done a bunch of random blocks together and now you want to put a little extra border. Or you're doing something like the Hocus Pocus and from the spooky box, and then you want to put another border on it, but you want to do something you know, you have in your mind. So it's doing border design is a lot of math, some your design ability, and I think a little bit of pixie dust. So let me just show you the math part and talk about that a bit, because we're basically working on a grid. That's all patchwork. That is not applique. Anything that's patchwork, you're on a grid. You're working a grid, and so therefore it's very easy math. It's not difficult math. I had some grid paper the other day when I was showing you whatever I was showing you, but I got a binder with grid paper now. So you can order this if you want down in the link below. So you see, it's all gridded paper like this. All right, let me open this up and let's take a look. Fix that light. All righty. Let's get us in here. I may just have to turn that off. There we go. Scroll, scroll, scroll. So what I did is I just drew a square, And this would be a 30 by 30. So every square in the grid I'm saying is like 1 inch. So I have a 30 by 30 quilt. Let's say it was something, you know, like one of the sampler boxes. Now if I wanted to go and put, like, let's say churn dashes all along the edge, and these are 6 inches. So if you divide 30 by 6, what do you get? 5. So you can get 5 of these blocks along the edge. So I'm going to just rough this, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you would get 5 blocks along the edge, all the edges, and then you would have corners, right? So corners, you could either do squares or you could do some other block, but they would also be 6 inches. All of these, I can't make the 6 upside down. All of these are 6 inch finished. I'm talking about finished sizes. Okay, so that's the finished size. But that's what you want to start with. When you're drafting, you're using the finished size. Don't draft with your size that has seam allowances, or you're going to get yourself really confused really fast. So draft with the final size. So what if my quilt, though, instead, I'm gonna rough draw it now, okay? I'm not counting it, but pretend it's correct. So what if this was 28 inches square instead of a 30-inch square? Well, you can't divide 28, won't get 5 of these 6-inch blocks. So what if you were going to do the 28-inch? So you could divide that by, you know, 4 blocks would go in, not 5, but then you'd have to put spaces in between each one. Or you could just increase the 28 up to 30. And how do you do that? 30 minus 28 is 2, so that means you need to add a 1-inch border all around. So 1 plus 28 plus 1 equals 30. So those are some ways that I think about putting a border on that is blocks. Anything you're going to do is going to basically riff off of this. You're going to take this as a base and you're going to develop whatever you're going to develop. But it all is about grids, and it's about dividing. You know, it has to mathematically work so that you can assemble it afterwards. You know, no inset seams and things like that. That's kind of like another branch of what you have to do. So hopefully that was a little bit helpful, because if you have a panel and the panel is 28 wide, you know, and you know it needs to be 30 to get these blocks, then you just know now that you have to add an inch border on either side, and that'll bring it up to the size that you need. And that's really simple, and it keeps it really clean and easy to do. Okay. So tell me today what your favorite tools are. This is one of my favorites, and I can't wait to hear what your favorite tools are. And if it was helpful to hear a little bit about the drafting of a border, let me know. I love you. Mwah. See you online.